Hey everybody, it's Matt Robinson. Welcome to another edition of the Writer's Block. I have interviewed many prolific writers on this show, but Sheldon Goldberg takes the cake. Using his experience as a regional wrestling promoter as his inspiration, he's published 5 books in the space of 3 years, all of which are amazing and worthy of their best-selling status. With a background in radio and theatrical production, Sheldon knows how to engage audiences, and his social media posts are the stuff of legend. I'm honored to have him on my show today. Welcome, Sheldon.
Thank you, Matt. Good to be here.
Yeah, I know you've been a bit under the weather lately, but I really appreciate you taking the time. I can say that again. Yeah,
it's an understatement. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that this gives you something, that this is fun for you too, as it's always fun for me to talk to you. Always. So let's give our audience some context. How did you first get involved in the wrestling world?
It's kind of a long story. I was a fan since I was a kid. And the guy who used to be the local promoter for the old Worldwide Wrestling Federation was a man by the name of Abe Ford. And he had an office in the theater district. And at the time, I was working in professional theater. And so I met him and would see him every now and then, and we would strike up a conversation, or I would get him, tickets to a show, and we became kind of friendly, and he kind of piqued my interest in pro wrestling as a business, as opposed to just being a fan and consuming it.
Right. You mentioned that you had been in the theater world. Apparently, you were the creator of what is now called the Jukebox Musical. How did that come to be, and what are the transferable skills you've taken from theater into wrestling?
Well, I got into theater doing publicity. I did publicity for Broadway shows that would come through town, Broadway shows on tour, for originally for some local theater companies, and the problem with that is just that there wasn't a lot of work. And if I wanted to have a job, eventually I was going to have to create one. I was pretty good at doing PR, and it was one of the many transferable skills that I carried over into the pro wrestling space. But, I wanted to do things. I wanted to create things. And that first show that I created was called Dancing in the Street. It was a Motown review. Ran for a couple of years and was very successful. And sort of instilled in me the idea that I could do pretty much anything that I had put my mind to. And launched me in a path of doing creative endeavors of different kinds over the ensuing years. And
apparently that those skills have continued to serve you well, because despite your health concerns and things, I mean, these books are amazing, and the pace has been, just every time I finish one, the next one's been ready.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's been a blessing. It really, really has been a blessing. I'll tell you briefly what has been happening with me. In December, this past December, I went into the hospital for a triple bypass, and had that, and had been recovering from that. And then I got an infection in my foot, and while attempting to recover from that, I had developed a partial tear of my Achilles tendon. So that's what I'm coping with right now. It's been kind of one thing after another, but I'll climb that hill and get over it, and we'll be okay.
And so the books were kind of therapeutic for you too?
Absolutely. It's as I say, it's been a blessing. The 5 books are actually a series, and the conclusion of that series is this 5th book, which just came out. It's called The Warmth of the Sun, S-O-N, not S-U-N like the Beach Boys song, but S-O-N.
Okay, it's about a family in wrestling. That's the arc, right?
Pretty much, yeah, yeah. It's about a guy who stumbles into pro wrestling at the age of 11, and the five books follow his career and his ups and downs and machinations of going from being a pro wrestler to being an executive. And this fifth book has a lot to do with succession and getting older. And so it was a natural place for me to wrap the series up, and I'm pretty happy with it.
So going all the way back to the beginning, what were some of the experiences you had that kind of gave you this idea, and when did the idea for a book and then a book, was the arc kind of planned from the beginning, or did the books each lead to the next? What was the process?
No, I really had not planned on doing any more than one book in covering this subject. The reason I did it was because the pro wrestling business to me is multifaceted and fascinating, and there's so much to it that the average person doesn't know. What you see on TV is really just the tip of the iceberg, and so I wanted to kind of take people behind the curtain, so to speak, and give people an idea of what it was like when the main character Rick breaks into pro wrestling in 1971, through the changes in the business and it becoming more of a corporate business in the 80s and 90s. And I wanted to take you to all the little nooks and crannies in that industry. And the success of one book led to another and another and another and another. So it wasn't difficult to expand, but each one was fun in its own way. I got a chance to take people into corners of the wrestling business that they would know nothing about normally, and I just thought I could share some of those experiences with the average reader, and do it in such a way that those experiences would be relatable to them. So you really don't have to know anything about professional wrestling or even like professional wrestling to enjoy the books. That was very important to me. I wanted to bring outsiders into it, and based on the feedback that I've gotten, I think we've been successful.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about that. Like, what can non-fans bring to the books, and vice versa? So now that the arc is done, at least, what other element of your life might you mind for the next project?
My next book is going to be a memoir.
Oh, okay. Well, there's the answer.
Yeah, I'm ready to do that. I was not ready to do that when I started these books. I first of all, I wasn't sure I could write a book, but I have proven that I can, and I've managed to continue that. So, it's time to kind of sum myself up, I think, a little bit.
Well, okay. How did you know you were ready? What was the turn?
When I went into the hospital for the bypass, you're facing a life-altering moment, and I told myself that this might be the time to kind of sum things up, personally, professionally, so forth.
Right.
And I think I've got a lot to say. So.
Well, you've lived quite the explored, interesting life, and I'm sure that as much as even non-wrestling fans can learn from and enjoy the books that you've produced, the memoir will have many more gems. And
I'd like to inspire people. I think some of the things that I've done might fall under the category of being inspiring. So I certainly had to overcome a lot of obstacles in my life, and to share those experiences, and to do so in a positive way, I think would be a benefit to anybody reading it.
Absolutely. I mean, just like we've touched on your work in the theater world, where you kind of made a path for yourself, and then using this world that you were in to explore different issues, larger issues, like you said, with what we see just being the tip of the iceberg. And everyone understands family dynamics and working in a family business and the complications of legacy and passing things on, and they're all touched on beautifully in your books. It's quite an accomplishment and quite a series. And so I know that I look forward to seeing whatever's next, and to seeing you back on your feet again without any braces or splints or anything of that sort. Um,
Yeah, you can't see it, but I'm wearing a walking
yeah,
boot,
no, it's
which is very clunky.
yeah. Well,
Very
it's gonna
clunky.
be, you're a trendsetter. It's gonna be the new fall fashion. Everyone will have one. All right. Well, just
God help
keep
me.
healing, keep writing, keep positive, and we'll hope to have you back again for the next project. And we hope to see everyone else on the next episode of the Writer's Block.
I look forward to it. Thank you.